Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession. It's me, your old pal Avian and Loaded, and here we have the complete Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave of Hasbro Marvel Legends. And I put these guys together real quick because I only had to take out Blade, well, both Blades, and add in Helverine and Blackheart, the Blackheart Build-A-Figure there in the center, in order to present to you the entire demonic wave of Hasbro Marvel Legends of the Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave, also known as the Strange Tales wave, which I would have bet you money Blade was in that wave, so, you know, maybe I don't pay as good attention as I should. But when I was putting together this sort of demonic / supernatural, the previous video of demons and monsters in my Marvel Legends collection, I just grabbed them. Oh yeah, that person is a vampire. This person is, the Lord of Hell. So I had to put Dormammu back too. Dormammu was not part of this wave, my friends. He was in the Bring on the Bad Guys Zemnu Build-A-Figure wave, which was also a pretty good wave. I think at one point I had all of those. I definitely don't, because I certainly don't have the Zemnu figure, and I don't have Arcade, and I'm sure there's a couple others that I probably got rid of too, Binge and purge. That's what it's all about. But I wanted to slap these guys together real quick for posterity, and just because it's interesting to me. Now, I didn't check. I didn't look. I don't know for sure. But I think this may be the only full Build-A-Figure wave in my entire collection of Hasbro Marvel Legends, or any Marvel Legends. I think I only have 2 Toy Biz Marvel Legends, the Silver Surfer that came with the magnetic surfboard, and the Howard the Duck, the good Howard the Duck, and Beta Ray Thor, in the Thor costume. Beta Ray Bill in the Thor costume. I think those are the only 2 Toy Biz figures that plus the Howard the Duck. So, Silver Surfer, Howard the Duck. I bought that Silver Surfer for the Howard the Duck. Not the goofy looking one from the MCU movies, but the real 1970s Gene Colan, Steve Gerber, Howard the Duck. So anyway, as you may recall, if you watched the Demons and Monsters episode of Action Figure Obsession, I, at one point, kind of was gobsmacked and realized, holy cow, I think most of these guys are all from the same wave. And they were. So I looked it up and I watched X-Man 87's review of this entire wave. Ooh, he was not kind. He was not kind to this wave, but he was fair. He was definitely fair. And it's one of those things, and this is, hashtag Action Figure Obsession. Who did I really, really want from this wave? And I'm looking at them now, and the answer is even blowing my mind. I don't really know that I wanted any of them in my collection. I already had a Brother Voodoo, the previous one. Oh, by the way, I was wrong about that. Thank you, X-Man 87. This Brother Voodoo is not on the Vulcan body mold, although he does have the cuts in his forearms that indicate that he maybe has Vulcan forearms. I'm not sure, or Vulcan's forearms. But apparently the body is a pinless updated version of the Spider UK body, which is an older body, and even just making it pinless, that isn't really enough. The articulation on the Spider UK body is not great, but with that cape on Brother Voodoo over there, it's not really going to matter much anyway. But yeah, I'm looking at this. I'm just thinking out loud here, folks. Just thinking out loud about my own action figure obsession and buying habits and patterns. And I'm looking at this now, and I'm kind of baffled. I do have 2 of the Helverine figure, one of which I turned into an unmasked brown suit Wolverine. We talked about that in the previous video. So I can justify, honestly, buying one for the Weapon of Vengeance. The great job they did on this paint, the paint and the translucent fire effects and the claws. I can justify that. Oh yeah, I can understand why I wanted that once I saw it in the store. I can justify that I have a second one because I lost the head from the first one and only found it, my son found it later when we were digging through some boxes. Hey, Dad, what's this? So that's why I have two of this figure that I didn't even think that I wanted when it was first announced. And after that, it gets real murky. It gets real murky, friends. I do have a lot of affection and nostalgia for that Mutant X run that Tom Rainey drew, which may explain half of why I have Bloodstorm, the other half being that I don't have any other good Storm. And I do remember fondly the sort of mohawked punker Storm that developed during the Paul Smith era of Uncanny X-Men, which was probably the last time that I was really enjoying Uncanny X-Men just as a reader and a comic book fan. I have two Draculas. I didn't need two Draculas. So I've got two Helverines and two Draculas. Everything else I just have one of. I have two Draculas because he came with two different heads. One is like an angry, snarling, fangs, bared face, and the other is just this sort of Lord of the Realm kind of look that he has here. It's not a great figure, friends. I don't know that I've ever seen a review of it that claimed that it was. One of the things that I noticed about it the most when I got it, and when I took it out of the box, the first one that I got, so I really can't explain why I bought two, he doesn't really have forearms. You see these here? These gauntlets? They are hollow. The hand runs into the gauntlet and then connects up here to where the bicep would be. This figure, I don't think... Oh, it does have a bicep swivel up here. But somewhere inside this hollow gauntlet piece right here, this is all hollow. And it's an example of what the fuck is wrong with Hasbro that they can't even give us solid action figures anymore. Why are you making stuff hollow? Well, because we can save a quarter of a centillion of a cent on plastic costs. You know, Hasbro is really, really screwing the consumer in so many ways. But I think the reason I have two Draculas... I can't figure this out, folks. I can't figure it out. Why do I have the entire wave? I don't have any nostalgia or affection for Blackheart at all. Like, the obvious reason would be you got all these figures because you wanted to build the Build-A-Figure. And I'm guessing, and this is just sort of reverse engineering my own mental illness, I guess. How else to explain it? I mean, this was a lot of money. Each one of these figures was like $25. So that's $100 right there, 100 and 150, 175. So two Draculas, 175, so $200. This is $200. This is a week's worth of groceries. At least it was at the time that I bought it. Now it's, 4 days worth of groceries, hashtag hellscape economy. But so yeah, I looking back, I know why I have two Helverines, and it was because I lost one of the heads, and then that really bothered me, and I only got it because it looked cool in the box. And then I lost that head, and I had to get another one. Obsession. It's an obsession. The two Draculas, I think because it looks like a Hellboy costume. Not a Hellboy costume, but like a character from Hellboy. That sort of Mike Mignola, the plating on the chest and everything, and the sort of antiquated, decadent look of him. He looks like a Mike Mignola character, does he not? Please tell me that he does. That's the only explanation I can give you for that. Son of Satan, I'm guessing... Okay, there's three candidates for which was the last figure that I bought. Because Moon Knight I might have bought just because he was Moon Knight. Even though I have a better Moon Knight, I have the retro Moon Knight. But watching X-Men 87's review, he did point out that there's some paint on some of the gold bits on here that they added on to this Moon Knight. It's the same body as the retro Moon Knight, the Walgreens exclusive. Different head sculpt, apparently. As he points out, X-Men 87, the fact that the inside of the cape is painted, it's a different cape than the other one, it's a nicer cape, I think, a little less real estatey. It takes up less room on your display. But the fact that the inside of the cape is painted black really does call attention to the gold accents on this West Coast Avengers outfit for Moon Knight. At the time, I'm not even sure I was building the West Coast Avengers, although I later did, and he does now stand in my West Coast Avengers display, just under my primary Avengers display shelf. as you may have seen in a recent video. So Moon Knight probably, although I can remember being resistant to it at first. You know what's really annoying is the belt buckle doesn't see that, well, buckle, whatever you want to call that symbol in the center of his belt. There's paint on the shins and on the gauntlets. Why isn't there any paint on that symbol? That symbol, if they were consistent at all, that symbol should be painted as well. It would look beautiful. It would make that figure almost perfect, if not for his rinky-dinky little Sunfire body mold shoulders. You know, and as X-Man 87 pointed out in his review of the entire Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave, Moon Knight should have been on a better body, too. They could have put him on the more recent Vulcan body mold, a little bulkier, a little taller. I think people are doing that with the Phantom Rider figure. The Phantom Rider figure that came out recently, I think, is on the... he's like the Old West version of Ghost Rider, and actually was originally called Ghost Rider. People are putting all the Moon Knight, like the head, the cape, and stuff, on the Phantom Rider that is on the Vulcan body mold, because his body is basically a blank white body, and making themselves the bulkier, more Batman-like Moon Knight that we want and deserve, that Hasbro refuses to give us. Because you just can't have nice things with Hasbro. Hasbro will never give you nice things, Dolores. When are you going to leave Hasbro? They will never give you nice things, Dolores. We're all Hasbro's Dolores. You know what I mean? Do you know Dolores means sadness? Did you know that? So, okay. Dracula, I was a sucker because of the Mike Mignola connection. Bloodstorm, I wanted because I wanted a Storm, and also, even though X-Man 87, I think, gave her a 2 or a 4 out of 10, I think she looks good on the display stand. And I didn't remember or realize that she's actually built partially, like the pants and stuff, the legs are from the Netflix Jessica Jones. All right, everybody's kind of not want. Look at this. Fucking Son of Satan's taking a nap on Blackheart here. What the hell is going on in this room? Son of Satan might have been the last one that I bought. At some point in my wild, mental illness-fueled purchase of this entire goddamn Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave, at some point, well, when it started, first of all, Helverine didn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece. A lot of times the really popular characters don't come with a Build-A-Figure piece unless it's a really complicated figure that has extra pieces, and this guy was just a torso, arms, legs, the tail, and the head. That's right, he has a tail. I'll show you more in a minute. I'm not sorry that I have Blackheart, but I don't love him. But, you know, he goes in my Marvel vs. Capcom display. In fact, I keep him on a flight stand. Where'd I put here's the flight stand. I keep him on this Don't Tell Anyone DC flight stand, because he can't really stand on his own because his ankles basically have very little articulation. They're just straight up and down. There's no rocker or pivot for them. You can turn them around 360 degrees, but that's it. But anyway, yeah, I had him on the flight stand over here, and I went to grab him, and the carnage, Oh my God, there's barely a man left standing. Oh, even Venom couldn't withstand the onslaught of my, accidentally smacking the flight stand into the pile. And I'm doing this whole video trying not to think about the fact that now I have to pick all these assholes up again. So anyway, what I'm trying to sort of reverse engineer here is at some point, I realized, whether it was after Moon Knight or after Dracula, probably, or Storm, the 3 characters that I kind of actually wanted. I didn't even know who Lilith was. Remember I said she was either the mother of demons or no, the mother of Dracula, or the daughter of Dracula, or the mother of demons. That's what it is. Apparently she's both, according to X-Man 87. I thought Lilith was 2 different characters, but maybe it's just 2 different looks for the same character. I don't know. I would have bought Moon Knight somewhat willingly. I did buy Helverine willingly. I remember buying him, the first one at least, vividly, and I was very happy to get it because I thought it looked really cool. Dracula, I think I wanted once I saw it in the store. I got him at a GameStop that since went out of business. Storm, I wanted a Storm. I can't really figure out Brother Voodoo or the Son of Satan, Damon Hellstrom, or Lilith. Moon Knight, I know why I got West Coast Avengers. So there's like 3 figures here that I'm really not sure why I bought. And at some point I hit the tipping point and had enough of Blackheart here. It probably was when I got the head, because look at this shading in the hair, if you want to call that hair. You know, what else would you call it? I got a bunch of maggots on his head. I don't know. I think he's the son of Mephisto. He is some kind of demonic entity. He has terrible feet. Terrible. You see, they're like digitigrade feet, like some animals have. You can see that. But you really got to balance them on the bendy wire tail, which means you can't really do much with the bendy wire tail, because if you move it, it's gonna throw off his quote unquote balance. But at some point, I realized I was going to complete the Blackheart Build-A-Figure, even though I don't think I've ever read a comic book story with Blackheart in it. And I've never played Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't know why I wanted Blackheart. Maybe, somehow maybe the marketing, the hype, it gets you that fever for the flavor of a Pringles. You know what I'm talking about? Now you want Pringles, don't you? That salty, crispy goodness. See how easy it is? Guess what I had with my lunch? Anyway, this is the only action figure that's ever hurt me. How's that for a pull quote? I don't know if you've noticed, but all over his body he has these little nubbins, these little spikes. Can you see them? They look painful. They look like they'd be painful to have on your body, right? They're also painful to pick up. You pick this guy up with a good, firm, strong grip, and you're going to have little indentations in your hand. Some of these are really stiff. Like, this toy should be like, ages 10 and up or something. So you can look at on the tail. Those are spiky. They're not like super sharp like they would be if this was a Mezco figure or a Valaverse figure. But you can see how sharp they are, right? And the tail, you see how sharp? They are a little sharp. They're a little pointy. And, I have more than once picked him up or tried to articulate him or pose him and gone, oh, son of a bitch. It's literally the only action figure in 54 years of collecting action figures. I think this is the only action figure that has hurt me just by picking it up. Some of them hurt me because they suck. And I'm not saying this one doesn't suck. I mean, it kind of sucks because of the limited posability with these weird feet, the weird ankles. I can believe because it's Hasbro. But if this had been any other toy manufacturer, they would have spent the money to hire somebody who knew how to make feet, who understood, you don't have to understand human anatomy or demon anatomy or whatever, but there's got to be some way. Somebody could have found a way. See how the shadow under the nails there? His feet don't sit flat. And I'm not sure really how to get him to do that. And I'm sure someone has done it, Don't go bragging in the comments. Leave a comment if you want. But do you have Blackheart? Are you happy with him? Does he make you happy? I'm guessing the only people that he really makes happy are people who have really loved his appearances in the comics and the people who love Marvel vs. Capcom. Because apparently he was a villain in Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't think I was yet building my Marvel vs. Capcom display, which is now actually a thing. That's one of those examples of me getting sucked in by other people's nostalgia. See also G.I. Joe Classified, which is based on G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero, the animated 80s cartoon, that I never watched because I was a little too old for it by the time it debuted. I bought the first issue of the G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero comic book because there was a lot of hype around it at the time. I think I was 14, maybe, at the time when it came out. But I didn't particularly love it, and I never bought any more after that. But now I have almost 380 action figures based on that IP, for the most part, because of other people's nostalgia. I got sucked in by Snake Eyes' costume design. I wanted that 00 Snake Eyes, the very first figure in the G.I. Joe Classified series line, and I got it. And then I'm like, holy shit, these are so great. And I got like 380 of them. And I like a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. I really, as toys, they're very, as the phrase goes, toyetic. Um, like the Vipers and the battle android troopers and the Cobra officers. I like the army building aspect of them. I like some of the core characters like Duke and Roadblock and Scarlet and Gung Ho. You can't start investing yourself in a franchise, a concept, and keep going if you don't find things that you like. And if you got Snake Eyes, well, you need Scarlet because that's his best girl, his sweetie patootie. And then you end up with Flint and Lady J because they're a couple. And then the next thing you know, you got 380 of them. And this is just me trying to figure out why I have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures. When in fact, Moon Knight, Storm, and Wolverine are really the only 3 characters that I like, as they say. Do you like me? Well, yeah. Yeah, but do you like me? Well, I like Moon Knight, I like Storm, and I like Wolverine. I like translucent action figures with, flaming effects. Look at that. I mean, he's just friggin' awesome, Wolverine. Did I need 2? No. Did I find a way to make it work that I ended up with 2 because I lost the head of one and then later found it after I bought the second one? Yes. I looked at it and said, you know what? I don't have a good regular brown suit Wolverine. I'm going to go through my fodder bin and my dozens of unmasked Logan heads that I don't even know why or how I ended up with so many. It's not dozens, but it's easily a dozen. Between the cowboy hats version and no cowboy hat and Hugh Jackman version and this comic version and that comic version and Joe Fixit and Patch and oh my God, so many Wolverine heads. They take up like 4 or 5 compartments in one of my little fodder fishing boxes. It's crazy. Just heads, just Wolverine heads. I don't know. I don't know. Is it an obsession? Is it just utter madness? Because I'm looking at all this. I don't care about Blackheart, but here he is. I'm not totally sorry that I have him. If somebody walked in here right now and said, you want your $200 back? The $200 that I spent on these guys? Approximately? I don't know that I'd take it. And I'm flat broke at the moment. I don't know. I mean, X-Manny 87, most of these figures got like 4 out of 10 in his ratings. If you watch the X-Manny 87 channel's review of the Blackheart Strange Tales Build-A-Figure, and I don't disagree with him. Son of Satan, Damon Hellstrom, and X-Manny, I'm sorry, I love you. You know I love you. It's not Damien. It's Damon, not Damien. Damon Hellstrom, shit out figure on a easily crapped out figure on a Sunfire body mold. All they spent money on really was the head with his pointed ears and his, the makeup around his eyes. And as X-Men pointed out, his painted on nipples, which are, frankly, they are kind of hilarious now that I think about it. Like, I think the arms were reused. Aren't those the Prince Namor arms with those gauntlets that don't come off? They just paint them after they produce them. What's the best figure here? It's not the Build-A-Figure. The Build-A-Figure should be the best figure in a Build-A-Figure wave, should it not? Oftentimes, historically, it has been. Zabu, certainly far and away the best figure in the Zabu Build-A-Figure wave, as it should be. The Kingpin and the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave from 2017 was that? That was the best figure in that wave. I have the classic Kingpin that they reissued that Build-A-Figure in with the, the purple pants and all that. I wish I had kept the original Build-A-Figure that just had the black and white suit. He was so much cooler looking, but I didn't keep him. But that Kingpin, that was the best figure in that wave, the Build-A-Figure. What's the best figure in this wave? I mean, Wolverine, just on the basis of being visually stunning, but that body mold is from 2016. It's 10 years old now. Sunfire body mold, was that 2017, I think? Slightly better than, certainly holds up slightly better than a lot of them. The Bucky Cap mold was old and worn out, and by the end, like, the figures didn't even move very well, I think because the mold was so old and reused. I mean, if they did one figure on the Bucky Cap mold, they must have done at least 300 different characters. That would be my estimate on the Bucky Cap body. And maybe that's high, but, how many times can you go back to the well, even with a mold made out of solid steel? This was the third Brother Voodoo. Yes, it's a different body, but it's not really an upgraded body. I don't really play with it much or pose it much because he's not really very posable with that cape. Would I miss him if he was gone? Probably not. But knowing, hashtag action figure obsession, knowing that this may well be, and I think it's in the 90% range of likelihood, this may well be the only complete Build-A-Figure wave. Now, like, I have all the Secret Wars figures, but that wasn't a Build-A-Figure wave. The Secret Wars, like Secret Wars Iron Man, that might be AI Iron Man. Oh, Secret Wars. Is there a Secret Wars person here? Oh, come on, help me out. There has to be. Well, Secret Wars Captain America. Yeah, there we go. There's a Secret Wars Cap. He, I bought 5 of the Secret Wars Cap. There was only 6 figures in that entire wave. I think I bought doubles of... I think Titania is the only figure in the Secret Wars wave that I didn't buy doubles of. I definitely bought doubles of Iron Man because I wanted to glue the roller skates on one of them. Iron Man, definitely. I bought 5 Captain Americas. I think I bought two I think, of the Secret Wars Spider-Boy in the black costume. Not Spider-Man because he's on the teenage body. Who else? Who else was in that wave? Oh, the Beyonder. I bought 2 Beyonders. There they are right there. Starsky and Hutch in heaven. Yep, those are both Beyonder bodies from that Secret Wars wave. So I do have other complete waves in the toy room here. I do have other complete waves in the collection where I have every single figure from that wave. But Build-A-Figure waves, where you buy all these individual figures, and then you get to put together the big beast. At least you're hoping that it's going to be a big beast. Sometimes it's just a little tiny Rocket Raccoon or Hit Monkey. But I really think, and I'm going to have to look around some more, and I probably won't because, I'm very lazy. I've mentioned this. It's good enough for me. I think it's in the 90th percentile of likelihood that this is literally the only Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave since the line began in 2002 that I currently own every figure in the wave, including the Build-A-Figure. And some, like Dracula and Helverine, I even have 2 of. And I'm sitting here looking at them right now, and I'm telling you, if I could go back in time to the day this wave was announced, I guarantee you, I sat there and yelled at the TV, I don't want that. I don't want any of that. I don't need any of those. Who, Lilith? Who, Lilith? Frasier's wife? Yes, I know who Lilith is in the Bible historically. You don't have to tell me, although you can if you want in the comments. But yeah, I'm looking here at a whole wave of figures that cost me about $200. Couldn't sell this for $200 now to save my life, I bet. If I threw in Blackheart, I might get $100 for the whole wave. Well, all of these guys. But I'm here to tell you, and if you've been watching all these videos all this time, the 170 videos or whatever we're up to now, it will be worth it for this revelation. I want you to shut out all other noise around you. If you have a pen and a piece of paper, you might want to write this down. Are you ready? You will never make money reselling your action figures. Now, statistically, this is true. Anecdotally, you will find people who have made money selling their action figure collection. I was quite happy one time when I did a purge on my action figure collection and ended up with about $9,000 in cash in my pocket. It lasted me a couple of years. It was pretty good times. Good time had by all. And of course, now I miss all those figures and regret selling them. But, and I did not do that at a profit either. That to get that $9,000, I probably spent twice that much acquiring the figures in the first place. And this is my point. And I do have one. If you think that you're ever going to get rich buying and selling and wheeling and dealing in little 6-inch plastic people, ain't going to happen. If you enjoy the characters, I enjoy Moon Knight. I'm not really familiar with his adventures in this costume, but I don't object to it. I object to the fact that they didn't paint that little thing on his belt buckle when they painted the rest of the gauntlets and the little, shin things, protectors, whatever. Look at how much more better, how much gooder this figure would have been if they had just thrown that last little bit of paint on that winged whatever that is. You can see how good the rest of it looks because of the paint. Hey, should we throw a little paint on the belt? No. Go take your lunch break. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. No, that part doesn't need paint. And now that figure is ruined for me, which is why it's going back to the back of my West Coast Avengers display. Brother Voodoo back there. I don't know. He's been hanging out on the work table because I just really haven't had a place for him. I guess some of these guys I could put together with that Man Thing, the reissue of the Build-A-Figure that I got. I showed him off in a previous video. I could see, because Man Thing, while he isn't technically supernatural, he certainly interacted with some supernatural villains. Maybe I could get some kind of... I'm looking at these guys, and I think Wolverine and Bloodstorm are the only ones that really need to... And Moon Knight, Bloodstorm, Wolverine, and Moon Knight are the only three that really need to go back into their quote-unquote team displays, the X-Men and West Coast Avengers. So maybe I could put together some kind of supernatural. I mean, the previous video, the whole purpose of it was that it was about demons and monsters, supernatural Marvel Legends that I have. And now I'm thinking, I mean, I got to get something out of the fact that I spent all this money on this wave of figures that I don't really care about. I'm not going to say I dislike them. I think they look pretty good standing here. What do you think? And I did dust them all. That helps. I'm trying to get into the habit of dusting everybody before I show them off to you. But yeah, I mean, this is the very definition of action figure obsession that, 2 or 3 years after buying this wave, I have to sit here and pick my brain. Why do I have all these? What happened? What went wrong? Show me here on Blackheart where he touched you. See what I'm saying? It's a mysterious obsession. It's a fascinating hobby. Sometimes you end up with figures that are just sort of objectively cool or beautiful or strange. And sometimes you have an idea for, how can I turn this into something? Because if I can take all this random assortment of supernatural and demonic characters and turn that into a cool display where, my wife or my kid comes through the toy room and goes, holy cow, that's a really nice setup. I mean, it almost makes it worth the $200, right? Just to get that little attaboy, that feeling of, hey, they see the work that I put into this. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. But, you have that feeling that it was worth it. And then you remember. You remember the heartbreak. The tragedy. The loss. The fall of great men. Great men like David Puddy, the Tick. He took a fall. He didn't go all the way, but he's on his way. And you know what, folks? The odds are when I try to pick these bastards up, I may just end up knocking over more in the effort. If I had somebody here to hold the camera for me, I would show you the laborious process of picking all of these MFers back up and hoping maybe this time, maybe this will be the time that they will never fall again. As recently as yesterday, I thought to myself, wow, they haven't fallen in a long time. And I was thinking it would be funny to put a sign on the back of the photo area here, 7 days since last mass casualty event, or whatever you want to refer to that as, the fall of the heroes. Oh, we're now day 0. 0 day, everybody. It's 0 day. Because y'all let me down. Oh, and it hurts when it's a Captain America. I don't want those guys getting damaged or having their paint screwed up. See, I tried to put them all in the front here. thinking they'd be safe, but poor Bucky Cap hiding there in the back. He is a secret agent, you know. Oh, look at him. The fall of the heroes. All right. This has been going nowhere for about 10 minutes, so I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you for joining me for this look at my complete, absolutely complete, and then some, since I have 2 Draculas and 2 Helverines, although I didn't drag them out. And I'm not going to do another video proving that, because I know you believe me. I know by now you've seen the depths of this obsession. The twisted, mangled, shattered remains of my consumerist impulses. Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Action Figure Obsession. It's been a long one. You've learned a lot about me and about the dangers of toy collecting. Don't do this to yourselves. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. That's all I'm saying. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you hated it, leave a thumbs down. If you have any questions or analysis or psychoanalysis, feel free to leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you find out the next time I get ready to unload about whatever the hell it is that's wrong with me and my collection. I'm looking at them right now, man. Oh, I'm just so happy that I have them, and I don't even know why. I don't even know why. That could have been a pile. That could have been a pile of 200 $100 bill or 200 $1 bills. That's what that could have been, and at one time probably was. But no, I got some toys. Do you have any money? You want to chip in some money? Well, I have Damon Hellstrom. Well, can I sell him for money? Probably not. Probably not. Thanks for joining me for Action Figure Obsession, and I will see you from the bottom of my black heart on the next edition of Action Figure Obsession. Can we get him in frame? There we go. Who's a good boy? Who's a beautiful demon? Yes, you are.